Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining today. My name is Kelly Mack,
My name is Emma McDonnell.
and on behalf of our co-authors Leah Findlater and Heather Evans, we're here to present our work, Chronically Under-Addressed, Considerations for HCI Accessibility Practice with Chronically Ill People.
Let's begin with our motivation. Globally, billions of people have a chronic illness, which we define as one that is not expected to go away, likely will not be fatal, but causes disruptive symptoms. Within HCI, health research has explored the medical technology needs of chronically ill people. However, HCI accessibility has not yet broadly integrated chronic illness into our research focus. Therefore, we articulate an opportunity for future HCI accessibility research to work with and to support chronically ill people.
In this work, we came up with 3 tenets for designing technology for chronically ill people. We then applied them to 3 autoethnographic case studies, and through this process, named and proposed a new paradigm, consequence-based accessibility, for defining and operationalizing accessibility, which we'll describe today.
We'll now discuss our tenets. First, beyond patients. We must view people with chronic illnesses as more than medical patients, but rather as people with valuable expertise and non-medical access needs. When we focus on chronically ill people as patients, we miss a vast majority of their lives. We argue that HCI accessibility has the opportunity to view chronically ill people as experts on their experiences who can help inform the design of technology to meet their myriad non-medical access needs.
Our second tenet is called Variability of Ability, and this is basically recognizing that everybody's body is different and has different abilities that can fluctuate over time. There can be baseline changes in ability. So for example, you might have a flare that gives you less energy for days than you usually do, or there could also be changes in ability that are triggered by daily life. So for example, a common aspect of the chronic illness experience is for many people, after a shower, they feel too dizzy or exhausted to really do much of anything afterwards. In order to design well for people with chronic illnesses, we have to develop technology with adaptability for this variability of ability in mind.
Our third tenet is include the body. Research with people with chronic illnesses must be done using a model of disability that accounts for both the physiological and socio-political barriers that they face. Since the 1980s, disability studies has viewed disability not as medicalized, but social, and therefore proposed social interventions. However, for many chronically ill people, the reality of living in a body that is often painful and uncomfortable is what they want to address, on top of the reality of living in a world that does not anticipate them. Therefore, work with chronic illness must pay attention to bodies and society.
In this work, we present 3 autoethnographic case studies around how technology and chronic illness intersect in our lives and how our 3 tenets apply to these real-world examples. Today, we're going to be covering our experience hacking text-to-speech technologies to make graduate school more accessible for ourselves. Many days, reading with my eyes can make me really dizzy over time, so I often consume large chunks of text with text-to-speech tools. Sometimes I use a screen reader. Screen readers can go very fast and require no internet access. Other times, I use online text-to-speech tools. Some of the visual interactions of this tool are useful to me, such as clicking where in a document to start reading, but I have to turn off others due to my motion sensitivity, such as highlighting each word as it's read. While this tool limits listening speed, it works really well on PDFs, which are often not fully screen reader accessible.
Reading itself is not inaccessible to me, but if I'm struggling with symptoms, sitting at my computer and reading is often practically inaccessible. I mentioned this to Kelly, and she suggested the text-to-speech tool she uses, which is now a key access tool for me. If I'm struggling with fatigue or malaise, which make it difficult to be upright, I can listen to a reading while laying down. If I'm instead struggling with brain fog, the same feature that's inaccessible to Kelly, highlighting each word as it's read, is a significant access tool for me. Combining an audio and visual cue helps my brain focus. We'll now apply the tenets to our autoethnographic case study, beginning with beyond patients. Text-to-speech addresses access needs outside of a medical context with commercial technologies, and ones that HCI accessibility researchers could continue to customize and improve for chronically ill users. Second, variability of ability. Our text-to-speech use depends on variable ability and is particularly useful in a flare or to prevent a flare. Understanding why we use text-to-speech requires understanding that ability can be variable. Finally, include the body. Text-to-speech does not act as a medical cure to fix or normalize us, but it addresses physiological and not only social barriers to access.
Accessibility is often thought of as a binary where a person can or cannot do something. Sometimes it's discussed as a spectrum going from impossible to easy to do. But in both of these paradigms, the accessibility of a task to someone is considered static. With chronically ill people, this just isn't reality. Chronically ill people can often physically perform inaccessible tasks. I could physically read with my eyes for hours, or someone with IBS can physically eat any food. We just might be very sick afterwards. And therefore, what defines accessibility for many people with chronic illnesses is not an innate physiological ability to perform a task, but rather being able to perform a task and remain in a reasonable state of existence afterwards.
Thank you so much for your attention. I want to again highlight our authors, Kelly Mack, myself, Emma McDonnell, Leah Findlater, and Heather Evans.